Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Alec. Today we're going to talk about creating the future in present time. So as you can see, I've manifested a really great sunburn for myself. Feeling pretty hot, but it was a beautiful beach day. Surfing and playing with my wife and daughter by the beach in Malibu, so well worth the trouble. Just, safety message to everybody out there. You got to reapply that stuff. I know you know that. Anyways, what I want to talk about today is creating the future in present time. This is one of my obsessions, one of the things that I really love to speak about, because when I found out that you could do this, it was a revelation for me. And there are many different ways to talk about this. We can get into the more mystical, spiritual side of it, or simply stick with the more pragmatic, rational side of it. But either way, the concepts are quite similar. So one side likes to refer to it as manifestation and imagination and creating a vision for the future. And the other side likes to refer to it as goal setting and structure and discipline. And I think both of these perspectives are extremely useful. I think that whichever one works for you is helpful to focus on, obviously. But they're both leading us to the same place. It's this idea that by envisioning the future that we would like to create, we are zeroing in on it. We're making it more and more likely to become an actual reality. And especially in this strange time, July of 2021, it seems like there are some people who are obsessed with creating this weird, restrictive, almost dystopian future for humanity. I don't want to get too deeply into that movie right now on this YouTube channel, because I'm sick of focusing on it and sick of thinking about it, to be honest. But the reason why I reference that is because what we're focusing on, what we're giving our energy to, is going to increase. So when we are constantly, incessantly focused on these fear-based narratives about war and disease and constant conflict, those things are going to continue to manifest more and more and more in our realities. And the corporate media outlets are doing a tremendous job of continuing to keep everybody in fear no matter what. The crisis will never end if that's the place where you're getting your news. So I, for one, am completely sick of this BS. I've had enough. This is not about safety, folks. This is about control and power. So I'm encouraging you to use your voice, use your thoughts and your words and your actions to create the reality that you would like to live inside of, instead of subscribing to this BS, fear-based, constant crisis reality, because that's not what it's like here on Earth. That is a skewed perspective that we're being spoon-fed day in and day out by people who do not have our best interests at heart at all. So, rant over. This is why we're intentionally creating our futures and the lives that we want to live on, focusing on creating love, creating freedom, creating all of the things that we would like to experience within our reality, as opposed to subscribing to these ridiculous narratives. All right. So this is the information from my new book, still in the process of coming out. The first version ebook is available on my website, loveattraction.info. The paperback is coming soon. It is called the Love Attraction Manual. So module 3 of this book starts like this. This is the imaginative play module. Manifesting a partner is one of the most fun things that we get to do in this lifetime. People get stuck in this super serious energy. And this comes from a place of scarcity and or a fear of being hurt. Totally get it. That was where I was coming from, and still where I'm coming from sometimes with my actions. Things manifest in our lives with the same type of energy that we create them from. This is very important. Things manifest in our lives with the same type of energy that we create them from. So looking at ourselves and the type of energy that we're creating with day in and day out is super important and will absolutely affect the quality and the nature of the life that you live. Therefore, if you create a relationship from a fear of being alone, you will probably bring that energy into your relationship and probably drive your partner away with your fear of losing them. With this in mind, we are creating our new partnership with the energy that we would like to experience within the relationship. I'd recommend fun, amusement, play, love, joy, authenticity, adventure, whatever else you would like. It's your creation. Also, we can always decide to reset the energy in our relationship space. The fastest way to do this is to set a new intention for the energy and start showing up that way. People around you will notice and adjust their energy too. If they're in affinity with the new energy that you are bringing, they will start to match it. If they're not in affinity with it, they will resist or be repelled by it. This is a natural way of drawing certain energies closer to us and pushing other energies away. Time. Our time here on this earth is one of our most precious assets. When we are choosing a partner, we are choosing a person who will probably spend more time with than anybody else. Personally, I don't feel I have time to waste with people who make me feel anxious, unappreciated, or unloved, to name a few. It's also important to consider what you want to do together. What do you value most in life? What do you value in a relationship? What activities are most important for you? This idea of lifestyle alignment, I think, is one of the most important factors to look at in terms of long-term compatibility. If you're actually seeking to make a relationship with somebody, especially build a family with somebody, you're either going to be in alignment on your pathways or you're going to be pulling each other in opposite directions. And obviously, a little bit of both happens always in relationships. There's always compromise and conversation. But getting that stuff figured out as much as possible before you even start the relationship is absolutely the key to compatibility and longevity. So that's it. Imagination. Bob Proctor talks about how imagination is one of our higher faculties. It is one of the things that separates us from the other animals and the plants. Although some plants seem to be doing it too. It allows us to shape our environment and create our experiences in new and interesting ways. Everything that exists in human creation was first a seed in somebody's imagination. We're going to imagine a partner and the partnership that we are creating. And by the way, you can still do this if you're already in a partnership. You can still imagine the partnership that you are creating, be able to crystallize and clarify what that actually looks like. It's something that I see with myself and with so many people is that we have this sort of vague description of what the conditions are that we will need in order to finally be happy. And we're kind of holding out until these come about without actually getting super clear about what they look like. And even if we're clear what that vision of the future looks like, the best way to get there is to be in a state of joy, gratitude, appreciation, etc. in the present moment. So this idea of thinking when I get here, I'll be happy. When I get here, I'll be happy. When I'll get here, I'll be happy is a constant, never-ending hamster wheel. So I'm on it some of the time. That's why I'm speaking the words. Remind myself and remind anybody who needs to hear it. So by writing this down, we're bringing it from the air element, the mental intellectual plane, to the earth element, the physical plane. It's exactly the same transformation that will be happening with our manifestations. So writing it down. With this step, it is much more important to imagine how we feel with our new partner than their physical appearance. Sexual attraction, physical attraction can be very, very distracting. Can pull you into relationships that are not necessarily in alignment with your values. So, what does your life look like together? How do you feel when you're around them? When we're imagining our partner and our life together, it is important to include the non-negotiable details. The things that they absolutely must or must not have. However, we don't want to get too rigid and hyper-specific. This can block our manifestations. Allow space in your vision for your higher self and your subconscious mind to bring you what you truly need. Remember, this is fun. It's absolutely one of the most interesting and beautiful things that we get to do in this lifetime. We get to rise in love. We get to do it over and over again. You're falling in love with yourself again and again. Finding new friends and partnerships, finding new relationships, falling in love with your partner over and over and over again. It's a daily thing that we get to do. So remind yourself of this whenever you get too serious, and regard this truth with immense gratitude. One of the most important things that we're doing here is training and reprogramming our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is responsible for the vast majority of the results that we get in life. Unfortunately, it is programmed early on in life, and if we don't make an effort to reprogram it, we will be repeating the same patterns over and over again. There are a number of ways to reprogram it. Often, for adults, the biggest way that it gets reprogrammed is by traumatic events. But we're going to go ahead and skip that step. Instead, we'll focus on two of the other methods, which are hypnosis and repetition. Hypnosis is a really fantastic way to reprogram your subconscious mind, because what you're doing is you're bypassing the conscious critical mind, and you are delivering these messages straight to your subconscious. What hypnosis actually means is simply the non-critical acceptance of suggestions. So if you can get yourself, your subconscious mind, to non-critically accept the suggestion that you are whatever it is you're creating, you are living within that life, you will find that reality will start to reorganize itself around you as your thoughts and your words and your actions, your beliefs start to transform. This is the magic that we're doing when working with law of attraction, with intentional creation. So the action step is to write in your journal and on your manifestation cards, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm living in harmony with my divine partner. You can obviously fill in the blanks here, whatever it is you're creating. I manifested my partner, and I still use that affirmation because I want it to continue to be true. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm living in harmony with my divine partner. So do the same with anything else that you are manifesting. Make sure to write it in the present tense. Include that now, present tense. Keep these cards in your pocket and on your bathroom mirror or anywhere else that you will see them frequently. The idea is to just know that they're there, to just kind of read them without even intentionally reading them sometimes. Just, again, we're reprogramming ourselves with repetition. And I also recommend reading them out loud intentionally and creating the feeling. Repetition. We're doing repetition. So for speedier manifestations, write them down every single day. Remember to do this with the positive emotions. You can write this down in big playful letters. Words plus feelings plus actions equal manifestations. If you have only two of these factors, it does not work nearly as well or at all, especially when it comes to the feeling part. We need to have and be intentionally cultivating heart-brain coherence in doing our manifestations. I've done quite a bit of trying to manifest things that were not truly in alignment with my heart, simply based on brain direction, my head leading my heart. And those things have not come in the way that I imagined them, or even come in at all, because I did not have that coherence that was necessary. So it's really good to ask yourself if this is there for you. If you're seeking to manifest a partnership and you still have some significant part of you, most likely your heart, that is in resistance to being in a relationship, oftentimes from being hurt once or many times in the past, we can hold these subconscious beliefs that are saying we need to be protected. We cannot open ourselves up to somebody else emotionally because we will get hurt like we did last time. If that's what your belief is, subconsciously you may be protecting yourself from getting into a relationship, from meeting somebody, from manifesting a partnership. You have to start looking at what that programming is. What are the beliefs that we have developed about love and relationships that could perhaps be causing us to repel a relationship? You can do the same type of thing with money or with health or with whatever area you're seeking to improve in your life. I've done a lot of looking at what part of me is subconsciously repelling money or income, or preventing me from really creating the abundance that I'm imagining myself having or telling myself that I want. And through doing this self-examination, I've come to a really much better place in that regard. But it's still continuous work that I'm doing. The first step is awareness. Start looking at yourself and the results that you're getting and why you may be getting them. So the action step for this module is to make yourself a hypnosis tape, including all of the circumstances that you are creating, stated in the same, I am so happy and grateful now that ... It's easy to do this with modern technology. I recommend the program Audacity. Super simple audio recording program. There's a ton of free hypnosis audio tracks online that you can put with your own words. I think it's especially powerful to have your own words and your own voice in your hypnosis. Although I do recommend that, I also do offer hypnosis sessions and hypnosis recordings. If you'd like to have some guidance with it or somebody else creating it for you, I'm happy to do that. I, for whatever reason, have been blessed with a voice that's good for hypnosis and meditation tapes. I think it's because I'm a fairly relaxed and calm person. So some people need that energy. And I'm happy to share it. So that's about all for today. As always, if you'd appreciate this content that I'm creating, please do give it a like, a comment, a share, or subscribe to my channel. It really helps me to reach you and to reach more people. Finally, all of my visual artwork can be found either on my website, narwhal.com, GNARWHAL, or my Instagram, which is at AlecFallHamilton_art. That's where all of my current process pieces right now, the wave series that I'm doing, all that new stuff is on my Instagram. And yeah, if you want any of that stuff, there's tons of cool stuff on my website. I recommend the canvas prints and the metal prints. They look really nice and they're ready to hang. You don't have to deal with any framing. And if you're looking for an original piece of art, something that I'm doing recently is I've started doing these extended payment plan programs, because some of my originals cost hundreds of dollars, some of them cost thousands of dollars. But I do not want cost to be a restriction on anybody who would like to have a piece of my art. If you would like to have a piece of my art, I would like to have it, like for you to have it. And to make that possible, I'm doing these long-term payment plans. So essentially a painting will last you, if you take care of it, for the entirety of your life. So for me, it's not a problem at all to have somebody paying me in monthly installments or yearly installments or whatever it is. Basically, whatever works for you, we can work it out. So with that said, thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening to me mumble for at least 20 minutes. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you again soon. Peace, everybody.